In a world where love is promised, but not always understood, two hearts collide under the weight of vows and expectations. This is Being Married, a tender, thorny tale by Azizah Idris M. Brought to life in voice by Hafsat Tilde, only on Our Heritage Reads. Chapter 1. The Dawn, October 1986. Patiskum, Nigeria. The burst of sunlight was blinding, rivaling the gleam that shone off the steel of the swords wielded on the royal square. The dust rose high above as the man with the white turban and blue babariga took a swift turn galloping forward. A dozen others followed him, in a masterfully designed ensemble flanking their king. They left the arena in the cloud of dust. People cheered, horses neighed, and drums throbbed. The fanfare was a sight to behold. Her target was moving. She squinted away the harshness of the sun and took a step farther. It was a feat to keep a hold on his moving form amidst the vast crowd and chaos. She must reach him, get a hold of him. He must not get away today. Amidst the crowd, Hawa snaked her way through the harsh-perfumed people and sweaty bodies, starched kaftans and gleaming veils until there was nothing between them but the open field and his blue Peugeot 504. Their eyes locked, and she knew what he was thinking. It was on a similar day like this he first saw her. He followed and persisted. She resisted, but he waited and he won. He got her. It was a sweet and sour journey. Now she felt the bitterness creeping up her pipes. Bile rose in a fierce need to escape its confinements, but then the magic was gone. Only the pain remained. Now the general ruled, and a chief had fallen, but life went on, and the storm within her roared. She swiftly got hold of the door handle and pulled. "You must listen to me today. You can't turn away from me." Her eyes were glued to his stoic face, his sideburns filled with thick dark hair. His nose stood straight and proud on his dark Bolivar face. He had the 3 strokes on his temple, the signature Bolivar mark. His face was grim and unyielding. His strong hands clenched the steering wheel. But she knew he couldn't get away today, not with the double crowd assembled. The high street of Potiskum was filled with spectators and performers due to the Eid celebrations. There was no way he was getting away. "Talk to me. Why have you forsaken me? This is not fair. You need to go and see Baffa. You know people are talking. They are saying awful things. You can't let them say that. You know the truth. You have to come home," said Oki. He turned away without sparing her a look. He left his keys in the ignition, and she watched, appalled, as he crossed the street, got a taxi, and drove off, leaving her there in his car like a non-existent psychopath. Now, a couple of hours later, Hawa stood in her mother's room as she fumed. "He left me there. In the car, Amina. You can't tell me to calm down. All hell will break loose. I will ruin him, just like he ruined me. He is never going to do that to another woman again." "Habade, please now, Adawa. You can't say that. Be patient. You have been patient before. It is not going to kill you. I'm sure he will come around. Hawa stopped folding her hijab midway and regarded her younger sister, who may pass as her twin except for Amina's dark skin. Oh, don't tell me to be patient. You of all people should not talk to me about patience, because you have witnessed everything. You have seen how discarded I was in my own home. You've seen his notes to me, his letters. Come on, Amina. He had not come to see his daughter since her 5th day in the world. Now she is 52 days old. He had never held her in his arms. So don't tell me to be patient. I have been patient when he wouldn't look at me. I've been patient when he will tell me he was traveling by keeping a note and a stack of his cash. I've not married him for his money. He bugged me. He had been on my neck for 5 years. He waited for me to finish my school, and then after he got me, look what he did to me. I am 19 years old with a newborn daughter and a marital status unknown. People are calling me names because of that. That man. So don't you tell me to be patient when I'm taking control of my life. And just like everybody has watched while I was being patient, everybody should watch now while I do as I deem fit. Hawa stormed out of the room, leaving a gaping Amina behind. Indeed, Amina knew that her sister was going through a lot, and it explained her sudden outburst. Her life with her husband Aliyu, popularly known as Sadauki, was a hazy maze which no one knew its direction. She watched as her sweet elder sister changed from a meek, loving woman to a bitter, unforgiving woman. It pained them all, but no one had the answers to her problems. Only Aliyu did, and he wasn't willing to talk. Malam Hamma, their Fulani merchant father, had 2 wives. Inna Biba, who had no child with him, and Inna Aisha, their mother, who had 6 children. Abdullahi was the eldest, followed by Mukhtar, then Aibatu. Hawa was their 4th child. Amina followed her, and their last child was Sagiru. Malam Hamma was rigid when it came to his children's discipline, so when Aliyu let go of Hawa at a critical point in her life, he felt betrayed. He somehow felt that he had failed as a father for entrusting his daughter to a man like Aliyu. Potiskum was a unique town comprising of different ethnicities and heritage that blended into one, a singleton town with 4 emirates situated within it, each ruling its faction. The House of Fulani, Boliwa, Kari and Zigim made up the large chunk of the population in the cattle-centered town. Rich in fertile farmlands with the largest cattle market in Africa, Potiskum was a center for commercial attractions. Alhaji Aliyu Gimba was one among the many affluent people in Potiskum, a man from the Boliwa faction, owner of over 24 commercial trailers that moved grains and cattle across the nation, which was rare, as the Boliwa were rarely seen running their businesses as a matter of pride for the elites. Aliyu Gimba's family did and were oddly successful at it. At his age, he was considered established, the 2nd son among 5 boys. He was also the 3rd in command of the household. Automatically, when his elder brother got married, it was naturally assumed to be his turn, but Aliyu was not ready. He had not met his match, he said, until one crowd-filled evening during the Durbar ceremony of 1981, when he saw her. And when he did, he was surprised too, because he had never expected her to be that young. So young. She walked with her head low and would only look where her feet went. She remained clung to the side of another girl not so much older than her. They might be age mates or so. They almost looked like twins, only the girl he saw, his girl, was fairer. She was painfully thin but tall, making her appear almost anorexic. Her hair was full with a telltale of curly hair peeking out of her silk head tie. Its lapels cascaded down the sides of her neck to her just-teamed bosom. Hawa was not acutely curvy or matured enough to be a teenager, but she had a promise of beauty in her eyes, and he knew then that she was the one. He made a move to approach them, but two young men, tall young men, almost his age, flanked the girls, and they were talking with a certain level of familiarity that made him look closely. He realized they must be related. When it was time for the girls to go home, Aliyu waited on the side path and followed closely. The next day, dressed in all white, from his cap to his kaftan and shoes, he headed to Dambuwa to see the fair Fulani prettiness that dared steal his sleep. Unlike the customary way of going with a friend, Aliyu went to the house he saw them walk into the previous day alone. Unlike the customary way of going with a friend, Aliyu went to the house he saw them walk into the previous day alone. He met a man outside the house sitting on a dead tree trunk. He was holding a kettle in his hand, about to start performing his ablution in preparation for the Asr Salah. "Assalamu alaikum," he said to the man, and when the older man responded, Aliyu knew he was in the right place. There was that stark resemblance to the young man from yesterday. "Wa alaikum salam, young man. What brings you?" Aliyu squatted just a little bit to the side. "My name is Aliyu Gimba. I am from Ongwar Bolewa." "Oh, to Malam Aliyu. Is there anyone you want to see? They have all gone to the market. They are not back yet." He realized the man thought he was there for his sons. "Yalla boy, I'm here for your daughter." Malam Hamma kept his kettle. After a moment, he spurted out the water in his mouth. "Which of my daughters, and what has she done?" "I don't know her name." "You are her teacher, and you don't know her name? Yet you come to her house?" "No, Elawe, I am not her teacher. I saw her yesterday on the double grounds. I followed them, and they went into this house. There were two of them." "Young man, what is your name again?" "My name is Aliyu Gimba." "Thank you, Malam Aliyu. My daughter is still in school and she is still too young. If you want to marry her, come back after 5 years. She will be through by then, inshallah." "Allah boy, I will tell her to leave a spot open, but for now, you cannot see her." Aliyu felt like crying. How would she know the person she was waiting for? How would he know if she had agreed to wait for him? This verdict did not sit well with him, so Aliyu said, "May I introduce myself to her? I will come back in 5 years, inshallah." "The tall one or the short one?" Malam Hamma asked. Aliyu's eyes darted about. He couldn't believe that was him. It took him 10 minutes to utter a sentence, yet here he sat proposing to a girl's father about taking his daughter's hand in marriage, a man he had never met before. I think she's the tall one." Malam Hamma turned his sharp eyes towards Aliyu. "Go home. When you are sure, then you can come back." Aliyu scratched his head a bit. Yalla boy, she is the tall one, the fair one like that, thin. He stopped when he realized that Malam Hamma's eyes were on him. Come inside, Malam Hamma said. When they entered the main door, they stopped at a narrow opened corridor. Malam Hamma turned and looked at Aliyu's face. Aliyu was taller than him. Be careful and don't scare her. I will be right outside and I will give you only 5 minutes to talk to her and leave. Don't mention any word that will ruffle her up, especially not about marriage. Aliyu nodded immediately, his heart beating in his throat. He could feel a cold dampness forming on his forehead. He just hoped she would agree to meet him or even agree to his proposal of a next meeting. And what he hoped more was that her father was not a veteran of the World War. That was just the beginning. There's more to being married than meets the eye. Catch the next episode only on Our Heritage Reads.